What you're about to see here is nothing but almost 37 years of experience, experimenting, testing, designing, coming up with my own tools when it comes to tattoo. Since I was 12 years old, I will show you now this little stick with a needle and string that most people use the first times. The evolution through 3 volts motors to 12, 24, even to the most sophisticated machines now. I'm self-taught, you know, I never have many people teaching me, but I've been learning through the road, meeting people, you know, Lyle Total and some people, I mean, you know, want to drop names now, but yeah, a lot of people help me up a lot. And so far, this is what I have. So this is an evolution of a Mexican tattoo artist tools from 1976 until 2011 almost. I hope this works somehow as a historical thing or whatever, you know. To me, it's just showing up to the world what it happens to me in my life and how the evolution of my tools went through according to my knowledge or whatever. So I hope this is helpful for somebody. If not, well, anyway, thanks for looking at it. So yeah. This is my collection of tattoo machines and instruments that I've been coming up with for the last 35 years. Design of tattoos, the white boy, el güero. Tatuajes, Guadalajara, Mexico, the white boy. You see, these little sticks were nothing but the beginning of my career, man. Wrapping around, cutting a string on sewing needles with a stick. That's how I did my first tattoos, man. My dad beat the crap out of me, man. He didn't like getting tattoos. And then this was my first machine in 1980. And it's pretty much the first 3 volts motor, electric motor that I used. I was coming up with, and then working in this place doing as a carpenter. I have access to these machines, so we can make them. In '82, I come out with this one with a hypodermic needle tip, and then we start using metals, hose clamps, tape players, holders, any kind of material that you can get with, pens, tips. I mean, you improvise, man. But you know, I don't recommend to use these machines. It's hard to sterilize and clean. You know, it's not maybe one single use and toss them because you don't want to contaminate it. This is the little box I used to run these machines with since '82. This is the first machine I create to engrave needles with a 3 volts motor. Really powerful. And you see, it's nothing but a piece of wood with a tip of a needle, pen, big pen or whatever. You take the ball off and now you have the ball. And then with a nylon string, I just tied that little piece of cloth hanger with nylon string and crazy glue, and that's what I make the A perfect to do that spinning part of the up and down of the needles. This is another machine that I made with, you see the same tip, a different body, but it's the wire in the center so the needle don't come off. The same string with a crazy glue and the piece of a cloth hanger on it. You see, it works fine. And this one is a hypodermic needle bigger, so you can fit more needles like 8, 10s. That's how we do the colors. They were really difficult to clean, you know. We use a lot of germicides, and this little tubing I put in there was just to stabilize the movement of the needles, because when they go up and down, they zigzag, so the tip comes out of the zigzag too. You see, this was another little one, 3 volts motor, also made out of redwood. So I tried to make it a little skinner, lightweight. You see the wire on the front holds the needles from coming off. But I did the same thing, you know, with the wire. And as long as it's a square, you know, it will work. You see the pen tip and the cloth hanger tip with the nylon string and crazy glue. You see how they move on the sides? So the way it rotates on the motor is the way the needle comes out, like zigzagging. That's why some of those lines are not that perfect and spread. You see, this is another model I call Blood. It's a vampire. See? And it's the same thing, small. The only thing I did with these little ones was that I put the nails on the back so I can hold the clips electric from the battery into that. So that will be more stability and doesn't cut my wires from the motor. You see? And it's the same thing. 3 volts motor, really fast. You see? And this has the difference in the motors. 3 volts, 18 volts, and 20 volts. Those bigger balls like these ones, they're like hair dryers, motors. You can take them apart, and they have carbons on inside the rotor where the electricity goes, and it takes longer to run, and they take more voltage, powerful motors. And this is a Lyle Total gift. He gave me these bearing computer motors. You see, they're beautiful. When I start making my own needles, sterilizing and everything, I create this little tubing, from hobby shops, brass, copper. So I did this shader. You see, improvising, man. This is the liner with the round tubing. Also just cutting with a jewelry saw, cutting the piece off, bending with the tip layer. And then with the hose clamps, these are quick change hose clamps. This one I soldered it on the rotor. I won't recommend that it will burn the motor inside. So then you see how easy I make the frame, and the wire goes behind the clamps. So whatever it pulls, I put soldering on the tips of them, so also doesn't come apart. And the vise for the tubing, that's nothing but just little nut soldered on the top to tie the screw on the tubing. You see. Then you put it back on after clean it, and this one-piece tubing, I didn't like it much because they were hard to clean. But and then I see these little cones that we use to ink designs, paper stuff. So one guy who works as a machinist, he started making pieces similar to that. So we kind of apply it to these machines with the computer motors, the holder of a tape player frame, and the tip of the machine. So we have the chance to change needles, make shaders, liners. So that was a little easier to sterilize and clean, you see. You can even use the same machine with different tubes and tips. And this is another one, the same with the bearings. You see how fast they do. They're really good motors, man. Computer systems. They were gifts from my friend Lyle. And you see these tips? This is the big shader. Now you can even fit 18 needles sometimes in some of these tubes. And this machine was made out of stainless steel when I was working with Bert Rodriguez in Santa Rosa, California, tattoos. You see, the frame is so solid, the guy who makes them have a hard time with them, and to make them, they were all steel. We just put them together. And you see the clamp, it has a little ball inside that it rolls and ties with the tubing in the faucet, you see? That was pretty neat. Make out of stainless steel frame. And this one is just an example of what you can do with frame. This is a Johnson square back frame, and I just started getting crazy on and start putting little gems and stones and these little binding poses and stuff that Lyle Total makes with silver. Those are gifts from him. The coils were grabbed with the $20 pesos. You see, this is Lyle's stuff, man. It's beautiful. And then just to give more ideas, I put this little movable jaws skull on top of it. So you can be creative and come up with your own ideas, man. You see, like this one, you saw it already. That's a machine made out of 2 knives handles. The coils and the contact screw I bought them from somewhere else. You see, and the piece at the bottom is just a piece of steel plus vice. This is made out of just a construction bar, man. Solid steel, and I just put the little front for the clamp to use the vise. Yeah, that's the only part I had to work out more, but the rest of it is easy. Yeah, if you have your tools. I mean, this is antique Mexican coin from 1951 and 1891. So I use them, I collect coins, so I find this. And the piece on the bottom is steel, and then the side is the coils, and the back is just a piece of knife. So they call it a hybrid because it's pieces of everything and pretty unique. Knife with a piece of steel and antique coins, and then my friend from Philly gave me these $2 bill wrapped coins, man. Coils, they're beautiful. And This is another one with a Mexican Olympic coin, that 1968. It's just a combination of different coins that I was collecting. Some from the 1900s, 1800s. You see, and this is like the same thing. The vise with a piece of steel on the back, making the frame, and the screws on the coils to put the frame together. And then I find these Chinese coins from Peking. So I make this machine. It's only 2 of them, and I have only 1 left. You see? And also the same kind of frame with the vise on the front and the coins screwed, put it together on the coils. 2 screws put together everything. And then this one is nothing but a napkin holder, half, napkin holders from brass. So I drill it on the sides, 2 holes, I screw it on the back. As you see, the bottom of this machine is a little thicker than the side, you see, because of the vise. But it's pretty heavy. I don't recommend making that heavy, man. But it works fine too. I mean, it all depends how creative you are. And then from 1976, using these little sticks with the black ink and different things, I start getting myself tattoos, and you can see the difference from this and this. That was really crude and rude, man, from back in those days, done by hand. And then I come out with a different idea and start doing it faster in 1980 with this machine made out of redwood, and the motor 3 volts. I was running with this, and I was traveling around Mexico and Guadalajara mostly with my backpack and my bicycle, and that's how I make a living, man. But with these machines, I make these first tattoos on me, the banner and the girl. I know they're not beautiful, but that's back in those days. And then I come out with this machine too, and that's when I did this tattoo on my leg, on my other side, the dragon. I think I can get more detail, I can start getting more accurate. So then when I make this little machine, man, it was the fastest of the West. So I did this, and it still looks like this, man. It hurts right on your belly, man. And then in 87, 88, I come out with these machines. That's what I did back on myself. You can tell the difference, it's more detail. But and then with this decorated machine and this other one, newer one with a sophisticated electric device, you can get things like this or this or like this. You see? Got better, man. See you guys soon.